Hello, Megan.
Hello.
Hi, I am Jana Edwards, and I am doing my iEvaluate class with my cooperating teacher, Megan Middleton. And we are here today to go over her coaching conversation to help develop her individual professional development plan. At the end of the year, we're going to check to see how her individual development plan, professional plan is working. And since she's teaching geometry again next year, we think that the plan that we develop here together today will be, of course, doable and relevant to her student needs. So today we will be using the collaboration model, Megan, to make the plan fit your needs. And we will center it around your reflection on your post-observation, and we will look at your continued strengths of standard 3B and 3D, and then we'll look at your growth areas of classroom management. So let's get started.
All right.
So your collaborative groups are going to be used for your think, pair, share. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep. And what we'll do today then is use our ORD questioning to help develop your professional goal for your ID-PD. And then based on our reflection observation, we'll use that as far as to help develop the plan.
All right.
Sound good?
Perfect.
Okay. So I want to ask you some questions, and then maybe we can develop this plan together.
All right.
All right. What is your current professional goal for your individual professional development plan?
My goal is to have 100% participation in my geometry classes with their collaborative groups, just getting more of hearing their voice rather than my voice.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. And what will you want the students to gain from working in these collaborative groups?
I'm kind of working together, sharing their ideas, and like I said, just getting their voice heard, so then they're talking more as opposed to me.
And how will this then make them more responsible?
So it'll kind of make them advocates for themselves, so that they kind of, maybe they have the questions early on so they know what they're looking for. If they need help, they can ask for it, and they're kind of supporting their own learning.
Advocate for yourself. We can't say enough about that, how that's a life skill. So I think that is a huge part of your plan. So I really like when you say advocate for yourself. That really adds to it. So what specific groups are your kids are you trying to make more responsible then?
The ones who aren't very verbal, so the ones who just kind of sit there and observe, don't really share anything out.
So what other tools then are you going to use to be fair with these kids, and as far as to make them with their collaborative groups to see how the process is going?
So I'm going to give them each a specific question, so then they have a kind of something they're responsible for, and then they'll be working in their groups, so if they need a little help, they can get help from working collaboratively, but that way they know what they're kind of required to do and what I'm looking for.
So you're going to have a checklist, they're going to know their question,
Yep.
and then they'll know immediate feedback if they're able to reach their goal.
Yep.
So then let's reflect. So what are your concerns about the goals with your plan?
So just those students who are kind of shy and who kind of keep more to themselves, just kind of getting them involved.
Correct. And then what are your concerns about students working in small groups? I know you've been doing this, and this is one of things that other teachers here at Valley see you do well, but I'm sure there's always concerns that you look for when you do have them work in that collaborative group.
Right now I don't really have any, because I've been working together and we've been kind of practicing kind of the protocol of how do we work well in groups and stuff. So as of right now, I don't really have any concerns.
Okay. And then what percent of your lessons will be focused on this collaborative group for your goal, for your individual development plan, as far as using that think, pair, and share?
I'd say probably about once a week. So then kind of at the end of the quarter, I can look back, and that'd be kind of 9 times that I would have observed, and see if I'm on the pathway to getting my goal.
So then you're saying that you'll do it once a week, and then what percent of students do you expect to meet your goal?
So hopefully 100%. That's what my goal is.
So your goal is 100% participation from your students and doing it once a week.
Right. Yep.
So how will you measure their success then? So how will you know if that's happening?
So like I said, at the end of the quarter, I look back and I have a checklist kind of checking off if each student has participated, has shared their ideas, answered their questions, and then I would kind of look at it over those past 9 weeks.
Great. Seems like you've already thought ahead on a lot of these things. So I have enjoyed learning from you on this process, Megan. So do you feel this goal is achievable then?
Yes, just by giving them the questions, they kind of know ahead of time what's coming. I definitely think it's achievable.
Great. So then let's move on to the closing parts of my questions for you. So what are you looking forward to most with your goal and your plan professionally?
So just looking for that student voice, hearing what they have to say, as opposed to me always being up there talking at them, then they can share out their ideas. Sometimes they listen more if other students are teaching them as opposed to me. So.
That student voice, you hit it right on the head, because now they say in today's world that we need to have more students heard and less teachers talking. So you're meeting so many goals with that plan. So then, how is this relevant to our district math goals?
So differentiation, putting them in groups, kind of having them working together, kind of hitting those different learning styles.
So differentiating, that's exactly my goal in my classroom also. How will these data teams then help support you with your professional goals? We call them PLCs, data teams. How is this going to be helpful with your goals?
So we have a geometry PLC, and so I can share out my ideas, what I'm doing with the class, and then listening to their feedback, because some other teacher might have a good idea to help me with maybe some bump in the road that I come to. So just kind of sharing ideas with my geometry PLC.
And your professional growth, I think this is just going to help all of us with what your plan is, because the idea of sharing with other teachers and making what's best for kids, that adds to your development plan. So what are your next steps then in order to accomplish your goals?
So just getting those students in their groups.
In the groups.
And then giving them the questions that they're assigned. So just kind of getting it all, I guess, together.
So that sounds good. Then what other supports do you need to continue working on your individual development plan, as far as your strengths, standard 3, and as far as your growth area, which is standard 6, which your goal is working towards?
So just getting feedback from observations, so when you would come in and just kind of watch the students and kind of give me a fresh view of kind of what's going on and tell me what, maybe something that I missed or something that I could also help them with.
And again, your positivity with the fresh view, that's wonderful. So the last few questions for you are, what timeline will you give to implement your goals for next year?
So I look at it over kind of like the whole year, and like I said, each quarter looking back to see if I'm meeting the goal. If I need to change something then for the next quarter, then I would change something. But looking at it over by the end of the year, hoping to have that 100% student voice.
So then, how can I assist you with those goals for next year?
So just, again, the feedback, making sure that you're in there observing, helping, like I said, giving me a fresh view, and kind of maybe, like I said, if I missed something or if I'm not achieving my goal, maybe asking for some maybe hints or ideas that maybe would help me gain that 100% student voice.
Perfect. So let's reflect what we talked about today in our coaching conversation. You're working on your individual professional development plan, and from what I heard from you today, your SMART goal for next year, and then correct me if I have it wrong, your SMART goal for next year will be to put your kids in collaborative groups and get 100% participation according to your checklist. And you will know the progress as far as at the end of each quarter, which would be 9 times a quarter. You would, so you're expecting 100% 9 times each quarter, and then you feel this is doable and measurable, and this will meet the needs of your students and in turn help with your standard 6.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to say, Megan, this has been a wonderful experience. I appreciate you previewing your plan with me. I feel like you have great goals that you can add to your individual professional development plan, and I look forward to my part in assisting and learning with you and growing together as far as the checklist and how next year when we meet and then meet again throughout the year and see how your plan is going. So again, thank you. Jana Edwards, Megan Middleton, and we've enjoyed doing our coaching conversation today according to her individual professional development plan for our iEvaluate class. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.